Welcome back to The Ether, the show that disrupts the way you think about running your business. Join me, Brandon, and my co-host, Sean Delaney, the creator of What If, on today's episode. Our goal is to provide context around what we talk about so you have the clarity to cut through the noise and the confidence to grow and run a truly harmonious business. Let's jump in and take the next step to achieving business freedom. Welcome to The Ether. Sean, what is crack-a-lackin'?
Crack-a-lacking is happening. Brandon, I hate your new setup. I miss the beautiful blue glowiness of your old studio.
Yes, so the studio is in pieces. It's in the garage. We just moved, but it might make an appearance very soon. Do you know why?
Oh, why?
Because speaking of harmony, this studio sucks. Do you hear the weed whacker outside across the street?
I don't. I hear an
weed
echo.
whacker, podcast, and echo does not spell harmony. So we need to revive the old studio.
Quite dissonant. Do I see a reflection of the light on the wall behind you though?
No, let me see if I can.
What's the green?
I can.
And blue.
What's the green and blue thing? You should recognize that anywhere. Now, do you see it?
I just said, is it the reflection of the symbol behind you? No, it's projected.
That's actually it. It's on the wall behind me. I'm gonna blur it because it's.
Oh, your lighting is terrible.
Yeah, there's a glare. You see what I mean? Like there's a glare. Yeah. The lighting sucks. There's an echo. It's awful. It's awful. There's a lot of dissonance in this office.
Oh, how the champions have fallen.
I know. Hey,
you were the number one
rated podcast.
You have standards now. You're in a top 10. You're running a top 10 podcast. Internationally.
Yeah, I haven't recorded an episode in, I think, 2 months at this point, and we have episodes still posted out for the next 2 months. I could not record for another 2 months and still be airing episodes every single day of the week. If you're listening to this and you're not listening to Harmonious at Lunch, you're cuckoo, but also please go over there and listen to it. It's on this same YouTube channel or wherever you found this podcast. Just go
if you like this, you'll love that because it's got way more Brandon and 0% me. You're going to love it.
Well, yes, a little bit. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're talking about the power of small wins in business.
Ooh, we didn't go clickbaity.
Maybe.
We didn't say 3 simple steps to triple your leads.
Well, everybody knows I'm not qualified to talk about that. So even if you ever see that title from us and there's no guest on the episode, just know that it's 100% clickbait and also 100% a lie. Outside of that, no, we didn't go clickbait, but we went. I did. I looked up some of the top business podcasts in the world, and I said, "What are these people talking about? What do people want to hear about in business?" This was one of the topics, but then also I said, okay, how do we frame that in the context of harmonious and running a more harmonious business? Because that they are not doing for sure.
No one.
We want to talk about this. And this is something actually me and you have struggled with in terms of celebrating the small wins.
Oh, yeah.
No. Good episode.
We celebrate small wins all the time. What are you talking about?
Now we do. We used to not.
Ever. Not once. But that is a lonely road. It is a grind. It wears you down. It's one of the reasons why entrepreneurs get so worn down is because their spouses might want the wins to be, where's the money? Like, that's great. Where's the money? And you have this grand vision and you're looking at the vision all the time. And every time you're looking at where you want to be, you're seeing the distance every single time. Now, it should be to spurn you forward. But if you're just looking at that's like you need to lose 150 pounds. You get on the scale. You're looking at the number. You're like, oh, it's such a long road to get there. I'm looking at a picture. Oh, I've got a vision board with my head plastered on somebody else's body, or a picture of me from high school. Got that on the vision board. And every time I look at it, sure is motivating, except not, because the delta between here and there seems insurmountable. But if you take that goal and break it down, this is going to sound familiar to anybody who does project management or order the way we do it, and strategic planning and marries though too. If you break it down into manageable steps and milestones and chunks and get down to the actual metrics that matter towards that vision of where you're going to be, and say, I'm going to celebrate the fact that I'm supposed to eat clean 3 days a week. And today's number 3. And I already nailed it. That's a big win. You still have to lose 150 pounds. Shut up. That's my 5-year vision. I'm killing it right now in this very moment. Woo, me. And that's the positive power of having some kind of peer group, a mastermind, accountability person. It's not the threat of, oh, they're going to yell at me if I don't do a thing. It's to be there to go, yes, well done. I love that in our room when we do that. When we always start with celebrating the wins. When people say, I have no wins, then we know that they are in that space. We have to say, yes, you do. Yes, you do. And because it's the days, I'll shut up in a second and then you can respond. It's the days where you don't look for a win, that you get to the end of the day and you go, did anything, what even was today? Same day, same BS, different day. One day looks like the next. But if you go into each day in search of some kind of win, you will develop that habit. You will start to see more wins here and there. You will start to feel the momentum. You will start to feel like you can get the things done. And if you get into that accomplishment mindset of, today I'm recording another module, that'll be the huge win. Then it's gravy all day. It's gravy all day. And if I get that done, then now that's a day I remember. That's a day that feels different. Why? Asset was completed. Contract was signed. Conversation was had. Difficult conversation with employee was had. Whatever that win is for the day, this is what gives you that lens. So we'll talk about all that mentality over the harmonious lens of your business in a minute. But Brandon, please weigh in here.
Well, I'm curious about because you touched on something important, the people who celebrate the small wins and focus on the small wins. I'll talk about for a second the polar opposites of the people who celebrate the small wins with absolutely no direction. And then the other side of that is at least having, you mentioned, a vision to be tied to and celebrating small wins in accordance with that. Because you see these two types of people, right? The people who are really, really good at celebrating the small wins, but they're really just going in a circle over and over because they fed the dog today, like that's their win. And then tomorrow they started a new business. And then the next day they went and took out a loan. It's like, hang on, none of these things are actually connected. And then the other people who they're going towards something and they're focused on something, those small wins probably have way more power than the other ones.
100%. We're looking for wins that are tied towards the vision. So let's talk about this then. So the idea of celebrating small wins in life, people get that. Where it is in business, okay, we can also get that. But you can see, you've already laid out the trap that happens, is if I'm obsessed with marketing and I go to conferences with marketers talking to other marketers about marketing, and it's what I think of all day, I might think that it's a win if I chase, well, I got that new marketing phrase I've been looking for, or I did 12 more pieces of marketing, knowing that you're already drowning in it, but it's just it's your happy place. And so you've aligned your wins with the very thing that you like. And that's not going to get you there, right? You have to do all of the things. So when we think about the small wins, so we start with navigation always. So yes, brilliant point is that the small wins we're talking about are along the path towards your vision. And what did we say? And then when we're talking about how we operate, the wins should be, we follow the 12-week year or modified version of it here. But if you have some kind of quarterly plan on the way of moving towards your 5-year vision, then small wins becomes really easy because we know what we're supposed to do this quarter. We know what we're supposed to do each week, therefore, in order to get what we need done in the quarter. And so I know what my weekly goals are. I know what the metrics are. Small wins are the only thing to celebrate because we're so focused on getting tiny little accomplishments done. That's the thing we need to celebrate, is those mini steps. It doesn't feel like a lot, but by the end of the quarter, it adds up. So that's great. For analysis, your metrics, your KPIs, if we've really gotten the ones that matter towards the vision, if we're not looking at what the scale says at the end of each week, which is not going to get us towards our 5-year weight loss goal. But if I look at the metrics, that's a lagging indicator, what's on the scale, that tells me what I did in the past that led to this point. You want a leading indicator, which says, on Monday, I'm tracking, did I get my steps in? Did I eat clean? Did I, whatever those things are that lead up to it. And now I have daily metrics that are at the right interval that are going to tell me whether or not the number on the scale is going to move. That's how you should be planning the projects then. So those micro wins become the very things that you're doing. Those are your daily actions. That's where that lines up and where you celebrate that there. For process order, we're talking about, these are your micro adjustments to your process. This is continuous improvement cycles. Can we get this 2 clicks faster? Can we automate one little thing in the process? Those micro adjustments to your overall value chain process, that's exactly what we're talking about. Celebrate those. So no, it didn't land you a huge account, but that one little bit of micro adjustment to automate your process just made you this much faster, made you this much more scalable. So when you do land the contract, that big contract, you're ready for it. So that's where that lands there. And then serenity. This is how you get to, one of the ways you get to a place of serenity, which is to feel that you have momentum, feel that you are accomplishing things, so you can take a step back and then you can celebrate. I found an hour. I found an hour in my week because I've started to get things off my plate. Let's celebrate that hour, not by packing it full of more work, but let's take a breather for a minute and go, wow, I did it. I am getting some space, some breathing room. I'm actually going to put a little self-care into that bucket. I'm going to fill it with meditating or reading scripture or doing something else, putting my feet up and sit back and say, let's just celebrate this hour. What are you doing for it? Not a damn thing. I'm putting on some Prince music and I'm just going to hang out here for a minute and celebrate the fact that we're making enough progress that I actually found an hour and could live my life, not change, do my business. This isn't me talking, because we love this business now. This is everyone talking, though, about what's happening in the entrepreneurial space. Look at this dude showing up in the comments, my new best friend. Because we're talking Prince. You speak the words and we all show up. Purple shirts and all.
Greg Kimball. We love Dr.
Greg Kimball. If you're not checking out what he's doing, I don't know what you're spending. How's that? Let's work on getting an hour and then spend an hour trying to figure out what the final percent is all about, what Dr. Greg Kimball's doing in the world, and how you can get to the next event, because we're going to be there and you've never experienced a room like he's put together. I can tell you that with confidence because you haven't. I can't describe to you who Dr. Greg Kimball is in the world. You must experience who Dr. Greg Kimball is in the world. So anyway, thank you for showing up and playing, my friend. So Brandon.
Some would say the same about you, but for an entirely different reason, but that's okay.
What? I think we're very much alike. I might be more of an acquired taste. I think he has more of a universal appeal and I'm more of a acquired taste. I don't know.
Like a fine
Don't define it, right? Brandon. We're live. Say only nice.
For that reason, I'm going to move on. But seriously, Dr. Greg, yes, Greg, we love you. See, I'll put this on screen. I'll make sure everybody knows. Greg says, I love Sean. Greg, drop a TFP link in the comments over on Facebook because more people need to hear about TFP and the room that you have put together. Shout out to you. On this live stream, we just got back from your house in Denver, hanging out for a few days. Sean, did we talk about that yet? I know we talked about Seattle on this podcast, but
I wanted to have him on.
We
have not talked about Colorado on here.
All right, next episode, we'll definitely talk about Colorado and all of the things we learned, the amazing people we met. And we're headed back out to Colorado in just a few weeks from now. A lot of traveling. Yes, thank you, Greg. Love it. Thefinalpercent.com. If you're listening, watching, go check that out. Go check that room out. It's a room you need to be in. If you're building a business, if you want to build a better life, go to that link, pause this video right now. We're nonsense. Go check that link out, and then come back here. Yes, Greg, we do need to do a podcast together, so we're going to set that up. But anyway, Sean.
Yes.
So we got through serenity. I want to pause at serenity though, because that's actually a sticking point for most people. When we take them through building a harmonious business from wherever they were, the chaos that they found themselves in, through our process, through our 90-day sprint, there is this sticky middle point where we're cleaning up the crap and making their business pretty. Sometimes they have less hours than before we get to the end of that 90 days. And it's not that it's hard, but you have to get rid of those old things and those old beliefs you have. How do you navigate that and find those small wins, even though it feels like you're not on the right path? It's like that. Let's use a Sharon Lecter reference. It's that 3 feet from gold moment where you're so close and you want to throw in the towel. Tell me about the power of small wins in that moment.
Yeah, a couple of things there. New wine into old wineskins. We need to empty things out. We need to get rid of things. And when entrepreneurs say, "Oh, I'm coming to you for my serenity," time management. We have to unlock all of that because time is a very amorphous. It's a construct, and it could mean a lot of things. And it's just an experience of the rate of perceived change. How's that? So in that, they say, "Oh, I need more time." So we say, "Well, these are the things you need to do in order to start to unpack that and get you more time." They say, "I don't have the time. I don't have the time to do those things. I just want more time back." Like, this is like saying, "I'm grotesquely overweight." You say, "Okay, well, you got to get to the gym." And say, "I'm too fat to work out." What are you talking about? That treadmill will kill me. I can't do the things I need to do in order to get to the place I want to go. Okay, well, that makes no sense. So yeah, we have to do things. And the things that we're doing seem unrelated to the goal. Here, drink a lot of water. Get away from me. I'm trying to lose weight. Yeah, but you got to drink a lot of water. That's putting things in. I need to get things out. No, trust me. It is connected. And so they don't see the connection because we're fixing things over here and they don't realize that it's going to have the effect over here. But the celebration of small wins when it comes to serenity. So okay. Let's back this up. You tell me where you were going to go with it, because I had like 3 ways that I want to go with that.
It's not just when working with us, of course. Let's use the weight loss example. You're 4 weeks in, you want to lose 150 pounds. You're down 10, but you were down 12 last week, and now you gained 2 back. You know the things will work. You know those daily action items will work, but you can't see the end yet.
So this is where, so when it's the 3 feet from goal, this is where some kind of community, some kind of support, some kind of coach, somebody who's been through what you're trying to go through, who can stand on the other side and say, "Trust me," because now they're over there. I'm already where the goal is. You're only 3 feet away. Can't be digging myself to death over here, Alice. I cannot be 3 feet away. It's going to be much more than that. No, I'm standing where it is. Trust me. It's Jesus on the water. Do you believe what I'm saying? Yeah. Do you see me standing here? Yeah. Come out on the water. I can't do that. I'm telling you can. I'll fall right in. I'm telling you can. Do you see me doing it? Great. Then come here and do it. Now you do it. More than one person walked on water. Come do it. Did it. Miracle. Did a miracle. Legit. So that's the power of somebody standing in that space. That's the power of a room like TFP, like any good coaches, like what we do in the inner circle, to say, "Trust me, I'm here." And we have more examples of it. And they're all in the room together. So just dig 3 more feet and celebrate. And we're going to applaud you for where you are, but it looks like a mess. But we're applauding it because I remember when I was there, stomping on the treadmill. You can do it. This is beautiful. It's not a mess. It's the cake being made. My wife uses every pot that we own, I think, when she makes, I mean, it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right?
No, I gotta step in and defend her.
Four knives and
That's an
spoons.
Italian thing. That's our gift. And when we cook, okay? Even if it's PB&J.
This is what I'm saying. The end result is beautiful. And you go, oh my God, this is fantastic. It was worth the 3 hours of cleaning. Again, everything how did you use this? How did you use a strainer to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I don't understand. But it's the best sandwich I've ever had. Same thing. We're building, it's art. It's going to look a little messy along the way. Trust me. You have to hear from the people who have already done it that it's beautiful on the other side. And that's why one of our core values is about celebrating the wins, not just ours, our clients, our friends, the world. We look everywhere for wins. Like, oh, good for her. Good for her. That's what we do. And it, I don't know about you, Brandon, I assume, since we're Lego pieces, that really jazzes me up. Even if we've had no wins for the day, if I can say, yeah, but that was a win, that's a win, she got a win, they all had wins, the world is winning. Collectively, that's the communal esprit de corps that we're pumping into. I love the notes you're playing, Greg. So
yeah, Greg's blowing up the chat. We love it. But no, that's what I was kind of getting at too, because I see it so many times, whether it's with our clients or, well, you just said it, whether it's with me and I have a rough day, but our clients have a win. It's one of those things that disrupts people, because so often we want to get on calls, whether it's with friends, clients, mentors, whatever, and go right to business. Here's the problem. How do I solve it? What's the solution? To just take a step back and say, what'd you win at today? What was something that went really well? It totally disrupts the way you frame the rest of that conversation, because now we're not thinking problem. It's, oh, look at the 4 things that are actually going really, really well. And now there's this little thing we need to solve. But that to me is the power of celebrating the small wins. I just don't see people doing it enough.
And that's why they need a room like ours. That's why they need a room like Greg's. That's why they need a community around them where they can find those wins and celebrate them together. And if they have teams, their teams are aching for it too. Let them celebrate the wins. If you can't see it right now because payroll or taxes, something about the business is dragging you down, remember that your business, you're not in business unless you're a payroll provider, right? But you're not in business to do those things or worry about those things. Yeah, you got to worry about it a little. But is your mission still being served? Did you help those people? Because if you remind yourself of that mission and that vision and celebrate the wins along the way, that's where it really is. It's the things that are unrelated to that will drag us down, the necessities of our business that can drag us down. But that's because we're staring at it, because it's a big Megillah. At the end of the day, make sure that you're writing down somewhere, this was the win. My business served these things. Did we hit our revenue goal? No. Did we solve that one big hairy issue that we have? No. Did we have all the awful, awkward conversations that we had? No. We had a list of problems we'll get to tomorrow, but we solved one of them today. And we had this, and that's a win. Or we didn't solve any of them, but by our very existence, we helped 3 of the people we say that we're in the world to help. That's a win. That's why we exist. So,
yep. You mentioned it, but your employees need this arguably more than you do. So make sure this is part of your culture. If you don't have employees, start with yourself, because one day you will.
We got a rogues gallery here today, Brandon. Let's shout out to Lou and Missy Ziesman. Colonel Lou. I actually was working today on the joint leadership program that we're going to be putting out. And it's going to be phenomenal. Love me some Colonel Lou. The guy sleeps, breathes, lives, and is leadership. And he's a good time. I mean, you can't hang out with Colonel Lou and not have a few laughs. So love that man as well.
I love it. I love that we have fans on this show. So for those of you listening or watching the recording, we do live stream this on Wednesdays at noon Eastern time. I'm sorry, 11:30 Eastern time. So you can join the comments, hop in with Greg and Lou. But Sean, this was great. We're talking about small wins. You know what we're talking about next week on the next episode?
Please.
It's your favorite topic, I think.
My favorite topic?
Maybe. I'm putting words in your mouth, but it's the Pareto principle in business. We're talking the 80-20 rule.
Oh, I love it. How about this? Let's do only 4-minute show, and we'll get all the value about the Pareto principle in those 4 minutes, and then the rest of the show can just be fluff.
Oh, man.
We're getting meta with the Pareto principle. I can't wait, Brandon. That sounds like it's going to be a good one.
Really devalues listening to the show, you know? Yeah. So thank you for that. Our downloads just got cut by 1/5. Awesome.
It's the 80-20 rule. 20% of the show is where 80% of the value is. So we'll knock it out in the first 4 minutes, and then we'll.
I love it. For those of you who are loyal listeners and subscribers, first of all, thank you. If not, please go subscribe on whatever platform you're watching or listening to this right now. And we do drop clips on YouTube, about 20 clips per episode. So Pareto principle at play there. You can go just watch those clips. I'm sure it'll be the bulk of what you need to know. But subscribe to us on YouTube. Anyway.
Give people a gift. Celebrate that win.
Absolutely. All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching The Ether.
Peace.